All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS whom taught me this truth. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in both truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. You know, we come out here week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of America. Okay, to let the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans know that we are the true children of Israel, according to the Bible. To let the so-called white man know that he is Esau, and that America will be destroyed in the Third World War, which is going to be a nuclear war. So with that being said, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Okay, and as I said, you know, America will be destroyed in the Third World War, which is going to be a nuclear war. All right, so I wanted to focus on that. Also going into America being Babylon. You know, I made that statement that America is Babylon. Spiritually, you know, matter of fact, let's just get the scriptures. Because spiritually, America is Babylon, America is Egypt, America is Sodom and Gomorrah. All these places all mixed into one. So, this is Revelation 11 and verse 8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city." Right? Now that great city is America. And the dead bodies is speaking about the mind. It's not physically speaking about dead bodies, although there will be physical dead bodies here. All right? But the mind of the people is gone. Okay, it's like the Valley of Dry Bones. Right? It says, and man, really, you know, a lot of these people are just a walking dead. You know, just to be honest, a lot of these people are just a walking dead. They have no idea, no clue what's coming to America. But that's why the Lord put the spirit on men of the Lord to come out here and to prophesy and to do his work, to give out his word, to give out his judgment. Man, I know I'm kind of jumping around, but we're going to get back on the subject, but I must need to be, I get this Proverbs, and then we can circle back. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 20. It says, "Wisdom crieth without, she uttered her voice in the streets." So the Lord put the spirit on men to come out here on the highways and the byways, okay, and to give out his wisdom, all right, to as the scriptures say, to shake the hand, you know, in the gates of the nobles. It says, "She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates of the city, in the city, she uttered her words." You know, so that's why I'm here, I'm downtown, you know, where all can see, all right, so this word can be published, so people can't say that they didn't have a chance, so people can, you know, definitely, you know, have a chance at salvation, and people can, you know, confirm their judgment as well, you know, whether they're here, whether they're for bear. You know, our job is to go on these highways and to push this word. It says, "She uttered her word, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?" You know, and there's a lot of simple people in America. A lot of people who believe simple doctrines, or who don't do the due diligence to know who the Lord truly is. All right, and who the Lord is truly coming from, or coming for, should I say. But the Lord tasked the men of the Lord, okay, his chosen, all right, of the elect of the tribes of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to come out here and to preach and to teach this word, all right, in truth and in sincerity. It says, "And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge." You know, you're always going to have scoffers. You're always going to have people who combat this and come against this. And you're always going to have people who just don't want to learn nothing new. People who are closed-minded. People who, you know, have no care for the Lord. Right? But going back to what we were saying before about America being, you know, all these different places spiritually. You know, Revelation 11 and 8, it says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, right? Why is it called Sodom? All right, America is spiritually Sodom because of all the alphabet activity that goes on here. You know, you got L, G, B, T, Q, A, B, D, C, elemental P, all these different letters and groups that identify. Now you can identify as as summer, winter, spring, or fall. You know, how was your gender? You know, winter. You know, I don't. That's way far beyond me. But that's what goes on in this place, man. It's confusion. All right, and the Lord is not the author of confusion, right? But Babylon is the land of confusion. That's literally what it means, you know. But it's also called Egypt because what is Egypt known for? Egypt was known for the slavery of the Israelites, all right? And America is also known for the slavery of the Israelites. They brought the Negroes here from west coast of Africa, okay? You had the Gadites who were already here, and they were sending them over there to England and to Europe. All right, it's known for slavery. This is the last major. I can't even say that. That was the last major slavery hub. But the world waxed fat off of America, off the labor in the backs of the Negroes during hardcore chattel slavery. All right, so that's why America is known as Sodom and Egypt. Also, you know, when you look at your dollar bill, matter of fact, just pull it out real quick. When you look at the back of a dollar bill, you know, you had that pyramid on there. Where are the pyramids? The pyramids are in Egypt. This is spiritually Egypt. You have Memphis, Tennessee. You have Memphis, Egypt. All right. You have the Nile River. You have the Mississippi River. All right. These are all. You have a lot of pyramids here in the Americas, here in the United States, as well as in Mexico and in South and Central America. All right. So this is Egypt all over again, man. All right, and the Lord is going to judge it. Okay, matter of fact, let me we're going to get to to the main topic I wanted to get to, but you know, let's just edify in the meantime. This is Romans chapter 9, and verse 9 and 16. It says, "So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that shows mercy." Right? So it's not about what you want it to be. It's not about what I want it to be, or what Tommy or Johnny or anybody else wants to happen. The Most High's will is going to be done. All right. It says, For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee. Right? So the Most High has raised America up so he can show his power. The same way he took down Pharaoh, all right, and made it public for the world. The Lord is going to take down the modern day Egypt, which is America, and make it public for the world. It says, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Right? And the Lord's name is going to be declared throughout the whole earth. All right? Every eye is going to see this destruction. Everyone's going to see the downfall, the destruction of America. All right? So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video, or of the sermon, should I say. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. It says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils." Right? And like I said, America is this Babylon the Great. America, so it's saying, alas, America has fallen. America has fallen. Well, why would America need to fall? What has America done to deserve the judgment that's coming unto it? Well, number one, America is that whore that's sitting the, let me just grab it real quick, Revelation 17 and let me see. I started verse 3. It says, 17 and 3, it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, that woman is America. That woman is Babylon the Great. All right, is sitting on the nations, having control. Right, which that scarlet-colored beast having 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO and the EU. All right, and all of these countries are in cahoots together, should I, for lack of a better term. All right, they have treaties, they have contracts, mutual defense contracts. If you attack one, you attack them all. So they're all one conglomerate, one entity, so to speak. You have different countries, but it's like the Transformers, or like the Megazord from Power Rangers. They all separate, but they come together to make one entity. All right, but look at all the things that America has done in the past, and it really is continually to do. We spoke about the 100 million slaves that came over here from West Africa. Giving the Native American smallpox blankets. Cutting the baby out of our women. Using us for experiments. The Tuskegee experiments. Just hey, Emmett Till. I can go on and on and on, and that's just back then. Look at the things that are going on now. You get pulled over by a cop, you might not make it. And I laugh, but it's not funny. It's not funny. It's true. We're in the times that you need Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But the Lord is going to come back. He's going to judge this place. Right, so it said Babylon the Great is fallen and has become the habitation of devils, and a hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird, which this is referencing Isaiah 13. So let's just grab that real quick. This is Isaiah 13, and I'll start at verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, and they shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Now the Medes is speaking about the Russians. We all know what's going on over there with Russia and Ukraine. All right, that centralized war between those two countries is going to blow up into a world war. All right, Russia is going to be the ones who take down America, who shoot missiles on America, all right, along with all of its allies and the other nations. The scriptures speak about all these that bend the bow, shoot at them, spare no arrow. All right, the men of thy confederacy, I'll grab it real quick. I think it's Psalms 83. No, that's Obadiah. Slack you. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, right? The confederacy is an alliance, a treaty. We just spoke about how NATO, the EU, America are all in alliance together. They all are confederate together, all right? So it says, they have brought thee even to the border. They have, fuck you. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, right? So they're going to turn on them. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And by eating their bread, you know, America has given these countries a lot of aid. You know, how much aid has gone over to the Ukraine? You know, hey, that's also why Donald Trump is talking about, like, you know, if you guys don't start, if you countries don't start carrying your weight in NATO, I'm gonna stop giving aid, because everybody has a certain percentage that they're supposed to be given, and America is giving all or more of their percentage, but you have other countries who aren't doing their job. They may be giving 5 to 10% of what their allotted amount is supposed to be. So Donald Trump is complaining about a lot of that, but at the end of the day, these allies of America are going to turn on America. Back to Isaiah chapter 13 and 17, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So you're not going to be able to pay off the Russians, all right, from this anger that they have against America. All right, you have the Russians telling their population, hey, look, y'all need to prepare for war, because war is on the horizon. You know, you don't see America doing that. You don't see America preparing its people. America went over there and shot missiles on Iran. You know, a sovereign country. Took one of their birds and flew over there and dropped missiles on their nuclear sites. We are in these last days, okay? It's getting real in the field, so to speak. All right? So there's not an amount of money that America can come up with to pay these people off. All right? And ultimately, it's the will of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, that he's going to get the job done. Verse 18, it says, their bows shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Right? Just like they said in Boys in the Hood, a bullet ain't got no name on it. Well, neither does an ICBM missile, an intercontinental ballistic missile. All right? These missiles are shot from one end of the earth and to the other. Let me see if I can get that real quick. Oh, well, it's actually in the same chapter. Isaiah 13:5, it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Right? So they come from a far country. They're going to come from various places around the world, all right, to destroy America. All right? And as I said, or as the scripture said, all these that bend the bow, shoot at them, spare no arrow. So you have all these different countries who have these missiles, these nuclear missiles. You have Great Britain, you have France, Pakistan, you have India, China, Russia, South Africa, and now, you know, Israel and Iran, North Korea. these are all nuclear nations. I believe Germany may have some. No, I don't think Germany does because of World War II. But all these countries have these nuclear missiles, and most of them are either on the side of Russia or on the side of America. And America's allies, like I said, are going to turn on them, and everyone's going to shoot their missiles on America and destroy it. All right? That's what we're waiting on. Verse 20. Nope, verse 19. It says, and Babylon, there goes that word again, Babylon, which means the land of confusion, which is speaking about America. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? So what happened? There goes Sodom again. Because America is also known as Sodom. We spoke about that alphabet activity, but why was Sodom destroyed? Because of the alphabet activity. All right, so if Sodom was destroyed for that abomination, why wouldn't America be destroyed for that abomination? Not only that, okay, how was it destroyed? How was Babylon destroyed? Or Slakia, how was Sodom destroyed? All right, fire came raining down from heaven and completely obliterated it. So that's what's going to happen here in America. Fire is going to rain down and completely obliterate America. It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their foes there. Right, so America's going to be completely desolate. Nobody's going to come over here. All right, nobody's going to come back to America once it's been destroyed. It's going to be like a memorial for the people to remember what not to do. All right, but when we're in the kingdom and we as Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are in our right mind, we're not going to want to come back over here. All right, and all the other people that are in the world, they're going to know and they're going to recognize, the sins of America and know that's not the way to go. And this is what can happen when you go in that way. All right, so back in Revelation 18 and verse 3, it says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right? America spreads this doctrine. Right? It tells the world that women can have rights, women can have liberty over men, usurp authority over men. That the alphabet community is okay and it's all good. That's what America does. It spreads false Christianity. It spreads this so-called democracy, which is America's not even a democratic country. All right, it's a republic. And you remember the Pledge of Allegiance, and to the republic for which we stand. People don't even recognize that this is not a democracy. All right, and now that Donald Trump is ruling, all right, it can very well become a monarchy. All right, he can very well, like that, switch it until and make himself, emperor. Which we believe that he is the Emperor Nero coming back in the reincarnation. Lord's will, he's the last president. But even if he's not, man, it's not going to stop this word from going out. It's not going to stop this destruction from coming. But they go around, they made the nations drunk with their doctrines and with their so-called way of life. It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich with the abundance of her delicacies, right? So the kings of the earth are the leaders of the various nations around the world who have these treaties with America, or who are making money off of America, because America is what's called a consumer nation. So, yeah, America does produce a good amount, but also America it pulls, it needs resources from outside of America. Damn near everything in America is made in China, you know. But you also have the steel industry and, you know, a lot of things that were booming in America that have been sent to these other countries because it's cheaper to produce it in these other countries and then ship it back to America. So that's how the world is waxing rich off of America, right? And you have these presidents and these leaders of these other countries who are making these deals to get in line with America. Hey, that's why a lot of these countries are fighting sanctions. Donald Trump came and he said, you know, you niggas gonna get in line, so to speak. You know, I believe sanctions from India. I believe India are hidden now. So, you know, this thing is moving forward. Verse 4, it says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Right? And that's the day that we're waiting on. That's the day of salvation. Right? That's the day that the chariots are gonna crack the clouds. Okay? That when the scriptures say every eye shall see, was what people believe to be, quote, UFOs or aliens or, you know, AUPs, whatever they want to call them. All right, those are the angels of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right, that are going to come and give salvation unto, you know, the elect of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3 of Israel, all right, who are believing, who are sighing and crying for the abominations that are done in the midst thereof, right? It said that they be not partakers of their sins, right, and receive not of our plagues. What are the plagues? You know, number one, the missiles, but also, you know, Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is gonna come down real heavy, real soon. Okay, which we're not gonna get all the way into that. Lord's will, I do a separate lesson on that. You know, I just, matter of fact, let me put it in my in my notes so I get to it.
Are you on YouTube?
I am.
I see you stand. I have a YouTube boxing podcast. So I see you're standing, looking at it.
Yeah. Right now I'm just preaching the Bible.
Put this here and then so are you going live?
No, I'm not live, but I just recorded, go home, and I upload it.
Break it up in shorts and stuff?
I could, but I just put it all up together. Put it all together.
I put shorts on TikTok.
Yeah, it's I probably should do that.
Shorts.
I probably should do that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, sure, I do it. That's why
I got to get a little bit more into it.
I get a lot more subscribers from doing the YouTube shorts.
You know what? You're right, because I did have some shorts, and I got a lot more views on my shorts than I did, you know, a regular long form video. So thank you. I take that advice.
What's your show? Your channel?
My channel is called Fountain of Living Waters 144.
Fountain of Living Waters 144?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. You know, you just be cordial to people. You know, we out here to preach and prophesy in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, maybe they were Jake, maybe they weren't. You know, but all advice is good advice. So, you know, I'll take it. You know, hey, call all your Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, but that's why we're here, to reach out to the people and to interact with the people, you know. Hey, whether they're here or whether they're for bear, you know, whether they'll come into this truth or not, you know, it's our job to be present. You know, it's really just our job to be present, you know, and the Most High is going to do the rest. So I don't remember exactly where I was. Y'all bear with me. We'll just jump back into the breakdown. Revelation 18:5, it says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity." Right, the sins of America, it says that it has reached into heaven. You know, if you took a manila folder and you wrote down the sins of America, and you spoke about the slavery, you spoke about, all right, the injustice of the Native Americans, all right, you spoke about the wars and the diseases that have been propagated, putting crack in our communities, and the police brutality and all of that, man, it will reach into heaven. And that's just the stuff that we know about. What about all the stuff that we don't know about? You know, the chemtrails and the poison in the food. You know, this list goes on and on and on. All right, this man just being the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right, and the Most High has remembered their iniquities. So there's not going to be no sin that goes unpunished, and there's not going to be a place that goes unjudged. America's going to be judged. All right, it says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill to her double." Right, so what did America do? All right, America put the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans into slavery. Right, so guess what? That's coming right back at them. All right, the Edomites, who are the so-called white man, all right, they're going to get that double. You know, we did 450 years, you know, roughly 500 years of slavery. So guess what? They're going to get double. All right, and at the end of it, when their sentence is done, we're going to dig a big ditch, and you know, they're going to be thrown into the pit, and we're going to light it on fire, and they're going to be done. It's going to be over and done with, because we're not going to need the wicked anymore. All right, the Most High has use for the wicked now as the whooping stick of the Israelites. Right, we went off from our heritage and served other guys, and we deserve to be punished, and the Most High is using Esau to put that punishment upon us. But our iniquity is almost fulfilled. All right, and when it's fulfilled, all right, they're going to get their punishment, and then there's going to be no more need for them, and the Most High is just going to get rid of them. Just like he gets rid of America, because there's going to be no need for America, the Most High is going to get rid of the people who are signified as the wicked. Verse 7, Revelation 18:7, it says, "How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." And that's the mindset of America, all right, that they are a queen, right, that America is so puffed up. You know, we're the greatest country on the world. Nobody can ever attack us. No, we'll never go down. Well, guess what? Every kingdom has gone down. The Babylonian kingdom rose up to prominence. It went down. The Persians and the Medes rose up and they went down. The Greeks, the Romans, all right, the Portuguese, the British. All these kingdoms raised up and they went down. And America's no different. And typically, they go down in 250 years. Around that time or so. And America's been America since 1776, which that would make 2026 the 250th year. So yeah, America's on borrowed time. America is not too much longer to go. Matter of fact, let me grab a precept real quick. Bear with me. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." You know, although it may seem like, you know, America's up and running, everything's good with this place, you know, doom and gloom is on the horizon. All right, America's going down. All right, America is going out of style. All right, everything that we see right here, see right now, the way that we live, it's going to expire. America's on its last legs. It may not seem like it because you can get up and go to the park. You can get up and go to the store and get food or get water, or, you know, if you want to go to the movies or you want to have fun, you can do that. All right. But when that switch happens, overnight, it don't take much. Hey, I was watching the Hurricane Katrina documentary on Hulu. Overnight, New Orleans was a different place. It don't take much. And when you have a government who is crooked, who is organized, matter of fact, let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. You know, they have the World of Worlds movie on Amazon Prime with Ice Cube in it, and the government was crooked, and basically it made a system, and it used a system that they can spy on all the people. You know, so when you have a crooked government, you know, it's just gonna speed up the process, man, because they have an agenda to get their crooked shit out, to do their nonsense, to do their buffoonery. All right. But the Most High has a plan as well. All right, and the Most High's plan is going to be executed. His word doesn't go out void.
Pleasure, bro.
Thank you. This is Revelation 18 and verse 8. Call all your Bishop outside. This is the Spirit. Verse 8, it says, "Therefore shall our plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord who judgeth her." You know, America's going to be utterly burned with fire. All right, it's going to be destroyed. All right, because the Lord has deemed America to be destroyed. You know, right? Don't shoot the messenger. Take heed to the message. You know, as the scriptures say, you know, what manner of man should we be in all holy conversation and godliness, knowing that all the elements are going to melt with fervent heat. All right, that everything that we see is going to come to naught. It's going to be destroyed soon. What kind of people should we be? What kind of actions should we be, and conduct should we be participating in our daily life? You know, we should be, you know, number one in these scriptures, keeping our mind on the Lord. You know, yeah, we are in the world, but we're not of the world. We got to go to work. We got to, you know, take care of our families and, you know, go shopping and things like that. But hey, at the end of the day, man, all this shit is vain. All this is vanity, man. And as I said, you know, when I first opened the video, man, a lot of these people are the walking dead. They're just dead men walking. You know, so we here for the elect. If you want to get out of this place, if you sincerely want to get out of this place, man, you're going to do what it takes to get out of this place, man. The Most High is going to get you. The Most High already got you. Because the elect was the elect from the beginning. So when that time, that day, and that hour, and that minute, and that second comes, that the destruction of America takes place, it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful day. Verse 9, it says, "And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." Because, matter of fact, let me get the missiles real quick. Bear with me. This is Revelation 9 and 16. It says, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them." That's speaking about the missiles. 200,000. 200 million missiles. 200 million. 200 million missiles are shot on America. That's what's coming to America, right? That's what's going to cause that smoke to travel all the way around the world. They're going to see it. They're going to see it. When Mount St. Helens blew, all right, that smoke went all the way around the world. All right, it kind of blocked out the sun a little bit. We're not talking about Hiroshima or Nagasaki. These missiles that they got nowadays are hundreds of times more powerful. And if they can level one city with those, what do you think 200,000 of them are going to do to the whole of America? That's the sea of fire. The lake of fire. All right, these 200 million missiles landed on America, causing the greatest bonfire in the history of mankind. And they're going to be mad. They're going to be upset because America is their cash cow. All right, and you know, once their biggest consumer has been destroyed, who's going to buy their goods? But guess what? Newsflash, we coming back. Because after we get beamed up into them ships, right, the elect is coming back in angelic bodies and taking over. All right, we're going to bring righteousness back and make it fashionable. Verse 10, it says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, at last, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." You know, it don't take too long for the missiles to be shot from one end of the world to the other. I believe it's like 30 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. Let me just look it up real quick. So I googled how long for an ICBM missile to reach us from to reach the U.S. from America. It says, looks like it. Hold on. An ICBM launched from Russia can reach the east coast of the United States in approximately 26 minutes and 40 seconds. The flight time can vary depending on the specific trajectory and the launch location, but this time frame is generally accepted. You know, so in a half hour, you know, and everyone's gonna hit that button. Everyone's gonna push that button. Everyone's gonna shoot their missiles on America, right? Because let's keep it real. You know, America's a shitty place. It treats the world like crap. That's why everybody hates Americans. It's not a hard puzzle to put together. Why does everyone hate Americans? And most Americans don't have nothing to do with why the world hates us. And I say us is because, you know, I live in this. I don't identify as an American, but you know what I mean. Why does everyone hate Americans? It's not even what the people of America did. It's what the policies of America has done. If you send your soldiers to go shoot up a goddamn Egyptian birthday party, yeah, the people of Egypt don't hate you. You got drone strikes, you know, on, you know, civilians and things like that. Yeah, people are gonna hate you. And it's not just like one place or one people that hate it. It's, you know, worldwide. You know, America is very polarizing. People either really love America, you know, around the world, or they really hate it. And if they love it, it's because they ain't experienced, you know, the bitterness that America, which America means bitter. You know, they ain't experienced that bitterness from America. But that's all I really wanted to give with this. You know, Lord's will, this was edifying. And with that being said, I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakar, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers who are enduring the truth and sincerity across the four corners. Hey, shalom, shalom.